This is video 4, 3D animation for dummies. You know all the basics. You know where the different software programs go. You know where to file your folders. You understand the mechanics of iClone. So now I'm going to put this together using Windows Movie Maker. And as I stated, the only thing I'm concerned about is getting whatever it takes to Windows Movie Maker so I can make an edit. So what I'm going to do, this is Windows Movie Maker right here. Now as you see, on the right hand side is your viewing box. So you can go up or down or whatever. Now when I go to File, I've already saved this. The last one I was working on is Windows Movie Maker Video 4. So what Video 4 has is just the intro, which is about 20 seconds. Then under that is the audio. So the audio is going to fade out, and this is the audio track that I'm going to lay right under that as we speak. So far so good. Now what I want to do, I've made my supers with PowerPoint. It can't get any simpler than that. So what I want to do, I want to go to Pictures, Supers for Video 4, which is in, quick, come on, it's in the Training Video folder, which is on my desktop. So these are the folders, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you just highlight them, you do Import, and that puts them right where they should go. You hear the clicking sound, because I'm recording this, so this is the reason why that went down like that. So now, what I'm going to do is show you how to take a JPEG off of Google or off of the internet and turn it from a 2D into a 3D animation video using iClone. Now let me tell you about advanced technology and Google. Google right now is so slick you can talk to it. You can say, hey Google, what it is. Google has a little icon right here in the center, and it's called Speak to Me. So I'm going to say, Google, I want a photograph of Richard Milhous Nixon. And Google says, okay, here it is, Mac, right here, Richard Milhous Nixon. So then I click on that. Then I go to Images, and there he is, Tricky Dicky. Now watch this. I'm going to right click. It's going to say Save Image As. Yeah. And like I said, this is a new folder that I'm going to call Tricky Dicky. I'm going to put it on my desktop. So now I have the folder, and I'm going to show you how to convert this from a 2D into a 3D animation. Now I'm going to go real slow on this because this is a pivotal point. You want to take a 2D animation and you want to convert it into a 3D. So you've opened your iClone to the project that you've saved. Now let's take it real slow. If you look at the top, you've got an avatar, and you just want to replace the avatar with a new head that you've made. So on the top, remember you've got Project, Stage, Set, Actor, Head, Animation, Media, and Export. So when you click on Actor at the top tab, under that it says Load Image. So when you click on Load Image, it's going to go to a folder. You're going to go to Tricky Dicky, and you're going to see the JPEG that I saved. So you see this right here. Now under that, there's a little tab that says Next, or Next. Now see this circle right here? What it wants you to do is to shape this around his face. So if you trim that down there, trim that here. Now let me show you something that's very critical. On the right hand side you see a zoom box. So you see that this dot right here has to correspond with the eyes. On the left hand side you're going to see a box that says zoom. So when you zoom in, if you see that his eyes are in sync, and if you see that this little box is covering his face, you want to go to the next stage. So now this is called fine-tuning. Go to the left and you can rotate it. It says, well, that looks fairly close. And so on the right hand side, see these little blue arrows? Only thing I want you to do is sync up the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Now, you turn that around. It looks like Tricky Dicky here. When you go to the next, this is your final edit point. When you go to the right-hand side, you're going to see a yellow box that's covering the face and all of these dots. So if we go a little closer than this, you want the eyebrows to be in sync. You want the eyes to be in sync. So you just move these around. So this way, on the left-hand side, everything is in focus. You want the nose. This is your final fine-tune editing point. You want the lips. So then you say, okay, now a box is going to come up and says the profile of side face has not been edited. Accept the default profile setting and finish the job. If you like living on the edge, you say, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I can roll with that. So now a box is going to come up and it wants you to save this particular face. At the top, it's going to say Custom iClone 5 Custom Face. The file name at the bottom, you're going to see a little cursor blinking. You want to give it a name, so you just call it Tricky Dicky. Now it's time for me to fess up. Since I am semi-retired, I've got way too much time on my hands. Way too much time on my hands. So before it becomes a felony in Washington State, let me show you what a creative mind can do when he's playing around with iClone. Now, I've got Tricky Dicky, right? So what I'm going to do, I put him on an avatar, just as a starting point. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to tweak him so he can do what he has to do. So there's basically just, the generic 3D animation of Richard Milhouse Nixon. Turn him around. You can tweak all this other good stuff. This is just a rough cut. Now, what do I want to do? Well, I want to get him up to speed. So what I'm going to do is give him some hair. How about some dreads? So he can get down and dirty. I look at that and I said, well, nah. Now remember, this is back during the 60s. Oh, you long-haired hippie freaks. I says, well, I won't give him any dreads. So I'm going to scroll down. Now this comes bundled with iClone. You can get any kind of hairstyle you want. So how about this? Maybe some love beads and a little bling or whatever. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks okay. Now, when you go to accessories, you can add anything that you want. See, so he's got his dreads, and he's got his piece, hat on, and all this good stuff. So if I go to accessories, got to give him some shades. Give him some sunglasses. So once again, I look on the left-hand side. I scroll down. It says, well, let me see. He doesn't need a bag or boxing gloves or all that good stuff. So yeah, there's some sunglasses. I'll put some shades on him. So double click on that. He's getting there. He's almost there. Now you want to fine tune this. So what I'm going to have to do, as you see, is up on the top. So on the right hand side, I can adjust that. It can go up or down, left or right. And so I play around with this until I'm happy with where it should be. So you just click it, click, 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 and eventually it'll get down to where you want. So slowly it's covering his eyes as it goes down. Now I'm going to have to turn it sideways to make certain that it's a good fit. So I go to the top, to the movement, turn him around. So well, that's sticking out a little bit. So once again, I go to the right hand side. I click on the fine-tune adjustments until I'm happy with what I have. Now this is the fun part. You just play around with it until you're satisfied with what you want. And see, it's going to go back in. Watch this. The more you practice, the better you get, and it's a lot of fun. So what can I say about that? So now I go to the motion, I turn him around. The press is looking good. Now what's going to happen now, and like I said, I've got way too much time on my hands. In the next video, I'm going to show you what I did. So there you have video 4, how to convert a 2D photo to a 3D animation.